This is Brent with Brent Robert Outdoors, and it is Tuesday night, and it is 7 o'clock, and we're going to talk a little hunting, bear hunting, and we're going to talk a lot more about Macedonia. I got Sam, my ministry partner with us, that we do 4 Outdoors Ministries together, and we were the both ones. I know I shared with you about Macedonia, but Sam's going to be here to give you a sort of viewpoint from the other side of the mountain. So welcome back again, Sam.
Good to be here.
It's good to have you here. Man, we had a blast in Macedonia, and we're going to have fun tonight. I've got a little preview video, but I can't walk and chew gum at the same time or do radio and upload video at the same time. I've even got a little black bear preview that when we go into our first break, I will upload that for you. And it's just a little outtake of something we may not use and we haven't even named it yet, okay? But it's a black bear hunting video. It'll be the gospel on black bears.
Something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then it may be extreme hunts or something like that. But by far, we're just little old country video bumpkins, right?
Right.
But by far, nobody, and I am going to brag hard, right? Nobody has the black bear footage we have. I mean, we've got some big black bears.
I agree.
Shot on the East Coast with our buddy Tom Harrison. Of course, Tom runs their ministry out there with CTO. He's very involved with it, Cross Trail Outfitters. You all know Chip. I had Chip on the show a number of weeks ago. He's got the Foothills chapter of Cross Trail Outfitters. So anyway, but our buddy Tom's got some incredible black bear hunting.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, I think on this video there's going to be 8 or 9 hunts. The smallest bear, 410 pounds.
Exactly.
The largest one, 708 pounds.
Exactly. Now we're talking a big black bear.
Yeah. Shot by Tom's daughter, a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you, when this boy gets up and he eyeballs us, because he was about 60 yards away,
yeah,
and he looked straight, because he didn't know we were there, because the wind was hitting us in our face and it was really blowing hard and cold. So we had sort of spot and stopped right up on him. But when he got up and finally realized we was there, and he walked from back behind the corner that he was in, and he lowered his eye and sort of kind of half winked at us.
Arnold Schwartz, the black bear.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's what he was.
He was a big boy, you know. So an awesome video throughout the whole entire thing. Not only that, the great thing about this, of course, in our black bear hunts is we share the gospel. You know, so we give an outdoorsman or somebody who's into black bear hunting everything they'll want, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to give them the black bear hunting video, footage, extreme, up close, in your face, but we're also going to share about God's creation with them.
That's right. That's right. That's why we call it the gospel on.
Exactly. And then something new we're going to be doing on this video. On the back end of the video, we're also going to be putting together
devotionals. It'll be actually small group discussions that men can have, or women. If we have women hunters, they can have it and download it from our website.
Yeah.
We'll have video accompanying it that they can have discussions and talk about how this particular hunt can apply to our life and how we can walk closer with Christ as a result of the difficulties you see while hunting.
Yeah, designed to maybe get guys involved that aren't quite involved in church, that may like to hunt, may like to hang out with a couple hunters and revolve around something that they like to do. They might not like the bear hunt, but they like the outdoors. They may deer hunt. You know, everybody's interested in that stuff, right?
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things we'll talk about when we come back is the wild game banquet and how we were showing some of that footage to the Macedonian Turks. That was an incredible relation builder, wasn't it?
It was. It was a great connection because we're with hunters. We're showing them some of our footage from hunts we had here, and it was a great time together.
Absolutely, it was. So anyway, anything more you want to share about that before we go into our first break?
No, I think you covered it well.
Yeah, I think we did. That was just a primer. And again, if you hit the like button, and I'm not talking about like button on the footage, but the like button for Brent Robert Outdoors, Facebook.com, Brent Robert Outdoors. When we come out with one of those, we'll probably be giving several of them away at the time. And also, if you're real creative type and you come up with something real creative as far as a devotional, because right now we're stopping at 6, but we could go to 8 small group times if we had somebody that wrote some really kind of incredible black bear devotional type of stuff or hunter devotional type of stuff. we'd be interested in taking a look at them. So again, you can post them up there. You can find my email address there. So if you feel like you got something that you can contribute to the video, we're all about that. And then on the science segment, I really don't have anything. I figure we're going to go long on this. I did last time.
More than likely.
And tell you the truth, this morning, I was just under the weather this morning. I struggled to get going. Didn't know if I was going to make it, and then took a 1 hour nap, and it sort of, I don't know what it was, man. Maybe it was.
I think you just got your beauty sleep. That's what it was. You need that.
Could be, because I got up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I just couldn't sleep. But anyway, right now we're going to take a little break, let you listen to our sponsors and the great sponsors that they are that support the radio station, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Supporting the local community. WGNW 95.7, The Choice.
95.7 The Choice would like to thank Dry Pros for their generous support. Dry Pros has 27 years of experience in the cleaning, restoration, mold remediation, and waterproofing of homes and businesses just like yours. Whether it's a routine cleaning or restoration from flood damage or mold, the team at Dry Pros has the experience to get it done right the first time. Cleaning all types of floors, windows, fine area rugs, and upholstery, they cover it all. For more information, their number is 828-277-9511. That's 828-277-9511, or visit them on the web at www.drypros.com. That's www.drypros.com.
Programming at 95.7 The Choice is made possible with the generous support of business partners like Area 22 Guitars. Area 22 Guitars is Western North Carolina's only boutique guitar shop. Whether it's an American-made all-tube hand-wired amp like Matchless, Divided by 13, Carr, or Fargen, or a U.S.-built custom luthier electric guitar brand like Anderson, PWE, Zion, Rowan, or Gatto, Area 22 Guitars specializes in the unique needs of the discerning musician. They carry a full line of boutique effect pedals like Keeley, Exotic, Rockbox, Menatone, and Wampler. And their acoustic guitars include Breedlove, Larrivee, Eastman, Bedell, and Crafter. Area 22 Guitars, not your average guitar shop. For more information, go to area22guitars.com or call them at 828-884-2222. That's 828-884-2222.
.7 The Choice would like to express our thanks to our business supporters like Ichiban School of Self-Defense. Ichiban Mixed Martial Arts provides a safe, family-oriented environment for people of all ages and skill levels to be able to train and prosper, both mentally and physically. Whether your interests are physical fitness, self-defense, competition, or just a healthy outlet for stress release, Ichiban Mixed Martial Arts will provide the tools to reach your goal. Their programs provide a well-rounded athletic approach to martial arts in a safe, fun, family environment. For more information, go to ichibanmma.com. That's ichibanmma.com, or call them at 828-423-0662. That's 828-423-0662.
Welcome back to the Brent Robert Outdoor Show on 95.7 The Choice. I'm your host for the next hour, and of course I got my good friend and buddy and ministry brother here in the studio with me, Sam Bennett. And I'm uploading the bear video right now. It's a pretty good little clip, and of course it's in high definition, so that's going to take about 15 minutes. But we're recapping our Macedonia trip, where we went to share the gospel with the Macedonian Turks, who Muslim in culture, but really not a whole lot of really strong followers.
Yeah.
You know, so anyway, and I shared a little bit with you when I was there, but I wanted to give you another perspective of when Sam was there. And let's see. Sam, what was your overall view of our trip?
Well, I thought it was very productive. One of the big surprises in our trip was how difficult it was. It's funny, I was joking with our church when I was announcing to them that we were going to Macedonia, and I told them we're taking two of our good buddies with us, Smith and Wesson.
Right.
I didn't realize how much the Europeans did not like Smith and Wesson.
Right.
And it created some big barriers for us crossing the borders. Matter of fact, it held us up for hours crossing the borders, maybe 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah.
Every time we'd have to stop.
Well, that and the language barrier.
Yeah. Yeah, the language barrier was difficult, but there was quite a few of those. Quite a few of them spoke English.
They did.
Too.
They did.
So but the ones that were speaking Greek, it sounded like Greek to me. So it was tough. But overall, I think some of the things that were complicated was as we were traveling over, losing our actually first getting diverted.
Yeah.
In halfway across the Atlantic, somebody has a medical emergency on our airplane, and we get diverted back to Newfoundland, and they have to land our plane.
Yeah.
And because it's a small airport, we have to offload some of our luggage
Because the runway wasn't long enough for our weight.
for that big airplane to take
Yeah.
off. Our airplane finally gets taken off, and we arrive in Thessalonica maybe 7 hours, 8 hours later than expected.
Right.
And we find out our luggage is back in Newfoundland.
Yeah, gone. Including underwear I can live without. My gun? I don't know.
But I think we put it, as we looked at it all and put it together, we felt like strongly that was Satan, just trying to get us distracted,
Yeah.
trying to get us frustrated, so that we wouldn't be effective ministers when we got to Macedonia.
Yeah, because we could have got cranky about it, but you know what though? He ought to know better, because it takes a whole lot more than that to tear me up.
I don't know, you got pretty tore up now.
Nah,
I'm just kidding.
I'm frustrated, yes, because you're like gung-ho wanting to get there, but I'm not so much gung-ho. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy the woods and hunting as much as everybody else, but I am at a point in time in my life. I didn't deer hunt at all this year. I flew my hawk.
Yeah.
I had a lot going on, and actually work has been extremely busy this year. For the wintertime, for me, it's been extremely busy. But I'm not pining over anything that I missed. I got to go to Alaska in July, and then, and then this just trip,
Yeah.
okay, was quite incredible.
Well, even though I think Satan, we had a bunch of spiritual warfare going on there with all our luggage, that opened up an opportunity for us to visit a place that was as close to the Holy Lands as you could get.
Exactly.
And that was the city of Philippi.
Yes.
That was a wonderful trip.
It was, and I was completely blown away. Were you ready for it?
No, I didn't know what we were. It's like opening the Bible to Acts chapter 16 and walking right into it.
And that's minus Paul being there, okay? But just to think that the Apostle Paul was actually 2,000 years ago, give or take 100 years, right? He was right there in that area, the Bema Seat and all those different places that was talked about in the Bible.
Yeah, even his jail cell.
Exactly.
They as close as they can figure, they've got sectioned off the jail cell where he and Silas were held over when the earthquake came, and all the prisoners, all the doors opened, and the prisoners could have gotten out.
Right.
The jailer was going to kill himself, and Paul said, "No, don't do that. We're all here."
Yeah.
And because he recognized that God had opened the doors and they hadn't escaped and spared his life,
Right.
he became a Christian. He and his whole family.
Exactly.
And we were standing right there.
Yeah. It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
The thing, and not only that, then you come back, and this is what I was unprepared for. You start reading all the history and realizing that where Philippi got its start from. Alexander the Great's father, King Philip, was the one that had conquered it, and you start digging and just starting to realize that. And these are things that I've watched on the History Channel, but all of a sudden you're standing there, and you're in a Colosseum. Well, not a Colosseum. It was
Like an ancient theater.
like an ancient theater, which had been turned into a Roman's game place, but you're standing, that place was started in 600 BC.
Yeah.
And it's incredible to look up and see it there. And we've got pictures of all this are up on the website. Just being able to stand there and take that all in was pretty darn incredible.
Yeah, and then we didn't stop there. We continued and toured the basilicas, Basilica A, Basilica B, where it's basically a basilica. It's like a huge marketplace.
Right.
Where the judicial system, I guess we call it the town hall now.
Right.
But there was 2 phases of Basilica A, Basilica B, and Basilica A was where Paul's prison was.
Right.
And then there was another basilica they called C, which was the Basilica of Paul.
Yeah.
Which was named after him.
Yeah.
I guess after his death.
And
yeah.
they were used for places of worship too.
Yes.
You know, the great thing I read about was that do you know how many people it took to start a synagogue in those days? It took 10 men of an age of over 21, I believe, okay? And they could start a synagogue. So in Philippi, when Paul went down to the river and he met Lydia there, if you didn't have 10 men to start a synagogue, there was like bends in the river, like where they would have them close to a river, I guess, for running water or whatever it may be. And so that's why Paul was going down to the river and he ended up meeting Lydia there, where we were also by the stream where Lydia was baptized.
Right.
Of course, a small church was there. We had a praise and worship time in
Yeah.
there that was, I don't know, man, it's pretty incredible. I mean, it just was.
Yeah.
You know, but just a lot of that type of stuff that you can start reading into Acts and and the book of Philippians and those types of things, and just good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, our that was just the beginning of our trip.
Yeah.
So, you know, we were all fired up after we left Philippi and headed back to Thessalonica. When we get back to Thessalonica, our guns and all of our stuff's there.
Exactly.
So we start heading into Macedonia.
Well, very important thing. When we were in Lydia's chapel, I guess
yeah.
they call it, and we had had our time in praise and worship, and Charles, our guy on the ground who's from Texas, but he's been living in that area for the last several years, comes in and says, guys, what are we going to do if we get back to Thessalonica and your luggage and your gun's not there? And unanimously, the 5 in our group,
So we're going to Macedonia.
we're moving on.
Yeah.
If it's not there, we'll
With
stop.
or without the guns.
We'll stop by a little outlet store or whatever they have over there and get socks and underwear and a couple T-shirts and jeans, and we're moving on.
Yeah.
You know, so Lord blessed us though, and it was there.
Yep. Sure did. And we got back to the airport, I think it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and we start heading up to Macedonia from there. And that's when we really get held up at the border crossing.
Right.
And, you know, that's when we found out that they weren't very fond of Smith & Wesson.
You know, I just don't think I don't know that they were hostile against guns or anything. They just don't deal with it hardly at all. You know, and I guess you got to be a special person to be able to have a gun there.
Right.
You know,
There was a few of them had them, but not many.
Yeah. Most of those were shotguns.
Yeah.
I saw one guy with a rifle, but it was old, Russian, open sight.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't anything special. So, but very, very restrictive on who they let have guns and when. But we made it through the border. We headed on into Radovish, which is actually in Macedonia. Get there at 5 o'clock in the morning. Check out our little flat that we have, sleep, and then we get up the next day and start sighting in our rifles and our guns. You know, have a great time starting to build relationships with the Turks.
just to show you how much they do not understand about high-powered rifles. We were sighting in our guns at 100 yards, and they had a range set up for us to shoot at 100 yards. And I look up behind us up on the hill, and there's a man walking his donkey across the hill. He said, no, go ahead, shoot. We're like, no. So they didn't understand the distance that these rifles reach out there. So
No, they really didn't. And matter of fact, that was always a topic of conversation with the interpreter and the Macedonians was about our guns.
yeah.
I mean, they were sort of enthralled with them.
And you know, that's the one thing that I don't know if we got time to get into it with this segment, but that's one of the things that we thought that Satan was really trying to hammer us on was our guns. You know, we should have just left these things behind because it's nothing but a burden.
Right.
It's a pain to get these across the border, all the paperwork we had to do and everything. We actually had a discussion, you know, maybe we'd be better off just not to bring our guns.
Right.
That was before the hunting trip.
Yes.
And then when we went on the hunting trips, it became very clear why we had the guns and why we were there. Because without those guns, it would have totally alienated the whole group of men we were there to witness to.
Well, yeah, you know, when Mr. J, you know who I'm talking about, the guy that's in charge of ministry for that whole entire area, whom they don't allow missionaries into Macedonia, so we were going in for helping control the wool population. When he had went and checked the town out before, and he was asked, well, you know what? I got some crazy thing coming up on my computer.
Yeah, he was asked, what can we bring to help you?
Yeah.
And the presidents of the country said, bring wolf hunters.
Yeah.
Because they're killing all the sheep.
Killing all the sheep. And how many times would we be sitting in a little kebab store, which is like a small coffee, sell like sheep sausage and different things like that, soups, that we'd be sitting in there and the sheep herders would come in.
Shepherd would come in and tell us about 4 of his sheep getting killed last night.
And want to get their picture taken. Matter of fact, I got a picture of you with one of the sheep herders there.
Yeah.
You know, wanting to get their picture taken with you. We were very well. Did you ever feel threatened as
Not
an
at
American?
all.
Like, oh man, we're American. Don't let people know that.
Never.
No, me neither.
Never.
Matter of fact, they sought us out.
Yeah.
You know, and very conversational and topic, very protective of us. I think the whole entire trip. Everybody that I met was very protective of us and watching out for us. You know, taking care of us. But we're going to take a little break right now. If you'd like to listen to a rebroadcast of the show, you can go to www.957thechoice.com and follow the Ustream links to Brent Robert Outdoors. You're listening to the Brent Robert Outdoors Show on 95.7 The Choice. And we'll be right back with more of my buddy Sam Bennett as we talk about wolf hunting and mission trip to Macedonia.
Supporting the local community. WGNW 95.7 The Choice.
95.7 The Choice would like to thank Dry Pros for their generous support. Dry Pros has 27 years of experience in the cleaning, restoration, mold remediation, and waterproofing of homes and businesses just like yours. Whether it's a routine cleaning or restoration from flood damage or mold, the team at Dry Pros has the experience to get it done right the first time. Cleaning all types of floors, windows, fine area rugs, and upholstery, they cover it all. For more information, their number is 828-277-9511. That's 828-277-9511, or visit them on the web at www.drypros.com. That's www.drypros.com.
Programming at 95.7 The Choice is made possible with the generous support of business partners like Area 22 Guitars. Area 22 Guitars is Western North Carolina's only boutique guitar shop. Whether it's an American-made all-tube hand-wired amp like Matchless, Divided by 13, Carr, or Fargen, or a U.S.-built custom luthier electric guitar brand like Anderson, PWE, Zion, Rowan, or Gatto, Area 22 Guitars specializes in the unique needs of the discerning musician. They carry a full line of boutique effect pedals like Keeley, Exotic, Rockbox, Menatone, and Wampler. And their acoustic guitars include Breedlove, Larrivee, Eastman, Bedell, and Crafter. Area 22 Guitars, not your average guitar shop. For more information, go to area22guitars.com or call them at 828-884-2222. That's 828-884-2222.
.7 The Choice would like to express our thanks to our business supporters like Ichiban School of Self-Defense. Ichiban Mixed Martial Arts provides a safe, family-oriented environment for people of all ages and skill levels to be able to train and prosper, both mentally and physically. Whether your interests are physical fitness, self-defense, competition, or just a healthy outlet for stress release, Ichiban Mixed Martial Arts will provide the tools to reach your goal. Their programs provide a well-rounded athletic approach to martial arts in a safe, fun, family environment. For more information, go to ichibanmma.com. That's ichibanmma.com, or call them at 828-423-0662. That's 828-423-0662.
Okay, we're back, and you're listening to the Brent Robert Outdoor Show, and we're talking with my good friend Sam Bennett. Man, we have traveled all over the place, have we not?
Yeah.
We really have. And I guess we've been hunting together for going on 14, 15 years now, you know. And we have more fun together and have such a blast and have a relationship where, you know, Don had met me and you, but Roger, the other pastor, and his associate pastor, Brandon, had not. But
Right.
Don was telling them, yeah, you'll like, man, we rolled right on in there and cut nobody's slack, didn't we?
Yeah. Charles, Mr. C didn't know what to think. did
No, we had a good time. But, well, let's talk about the wolf hunting,
he? Okay.
okay?
Well, I think of the 8 days we were there, I calculated we hunted 3 days, 2 to 3 hours each day.
Right.
So 6 to 9 hours. So obviously, our focus was not it was not saturated with wolf hunting. I mean, a lot of people would say that was an unsuccessful trip to
Right.
spend that little a time wolf hunting. But you know, that was actually in the hunt.
Why, you didn't get a wolf?
No, nobody got a wolf.
Well, Pete brought up a picture.
We didn't even see a wolf.
If you go online, Pete was asking, he says, well, Brent, you're here with a wolf. I got it up on Facebook.com, Brent Robert Outdoors. I'm pictured standing over top of a wolf with my gun. Somebody got a wolf.
How did that get there, Brent? Now, to tell the
Well,
truth.
here's what happened. Don and I cut out early one morning because we had to go do some chores that Mr. C had asked us to do, and I was all about the adventure because we got a little GPS, you know, that goes in kilometers and is all in Macedonian or Greek to me, whatever it was language it was in. But you knew when to take a turn. You know, when an arrow goes right, you go right. You know what I mean? So we went down, and as we're going down this hill, and we left Sam, Roger, and Brandon to another drive with the Macedonians to hunt, and then Don and I were heading down the hill. So we're going down the hill, clipping down the hill about 30 miles an hour in this Honda CR-V in foreign country. I'm all about these experiences, right? And all of a sudden I look over and I'm like, look at the wolf. Now I was joking because it's a dead dog. If you go on there and look at the picture, it's me standing over a dead dog, right? Looks like a wolf. Everybody that I've showed it to thinks it's a wolf. But I said, look, well, Don starts slamming on the brakes, and he's laughing so hard he can hardly hold himself together. I was like, what are you laughing for? He goes, I'm seeing a picture opportunity. Me and you are going to kill a wolf. I was like, oh, my gosh. Well, I started breaking out laughing. If I put the picture of him up there, you can't see it with mine. I didn't put him up there, but it's got a rope on its leg. We were driving by a dump, okay, and there was this dead wolf-looking dog, and it looks like a wolf on the side of the road. We pull it up on the dump, throw it up on green grass, and we both get pictures with it. Well, after we get done with our chore and these guys get done, Mr. C had given us, we had Macedonian cell phones, so in case we got lost or in trouble, we could call him or call each other. Well, Brandon or one of these guys called Don and myself, and they're trash talking about wolves that they're shooting, okay? And we knew they were trash talking, but we have picture proof of the wolf that we killed, right? So when we get back to the kebab store, we're trash talking, and Don and I start passing around a picture of the wolf on the camera, and you should have seen the faces on these three boys that weren't with us. I mean, they were like heartbroken, okay?
I lost a lot of trust in my good friend Brent. He worked it to the hilt.
They got so sucked in, man. They bought it, hook, line, and sinker. And they were like, oh my gosh. And Sam told me later, because I'm thinking you guys found somebody else who killed the wolf and you just got your picture taken with it. So anyway, my conscience got the best of me and I shared with them. Boys, but you know what I'm pine about now? I wish I'd cut the tail off that thing, man. Because it looks like a wolf. I mean, look at it.
May have been.
It could have been. I started thinking about, but I've seen pictures of a wolf, and the teeth were not wolf teeth.
Oh, okay.
I did peel the lip back to check it on out. It was a dog. He was dried up and old. He's in rough shape. But anyway, so let's talk more about the wolf hunts.
Well, the wolf hunts, I think the opportunity it gave us to rub shoulders with these men. I mean, just imagine this. What other opportunity would you have for 35 or 40 Muslim men to mix in company with 5 Christian men and have a great time?
I agree.
With guns? all of us having guns, it became such a good time that we would break at midday and start a big fire up and gather around the fire and actually heat our meals up and eat them together, everybody sharing.
Man, it was surreal. I mean, it was just surreal. I don't know what else to say about when you're in a foreign country with people that have a lot of culture and history. I mean, they've been around there. You know, Paul was witnessing to their generations years ago. I mean, that's how long they've been around, you know. So it was just cool, like you said, to be eating things that we're not used to eating. You know, to be hanging out places we're not used to. Now, they are very much about hanging out.
Yeah.
I mean, to them, I think hunting's more about the hanging out.
Yeah, and that's what I was really saying, that we did very little hunting. We did more hanging out.
We did.
And yeah, but really, without our guns, that wouldn't have been possible, because
No.
we wouldn't have been up there hanging out or doing anything. And you know, like we said before, they really enjoyed our guns. There was one day when we, after our meal, we just decided we had to start target shooting, and I believe every one of them shot my gun.
Yeah.
I took enough rounds for a small army and came back with a few.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they did. And they were wanting their picture taken with your guns. They wanted to know how far they shot. I mean, they want to know how tight the groups were. I mean, a matter of fact, I even gave you video on your thumb drive where Tommy Two Teeth, and we had names for all of them. Okay, Tommy Two Teeth is talking, and you can hear the translator saying he's saying how the trigger is so soft and sweet.
So
Like
when he's going, no, 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 no,
Yeah.
no, 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 no.
he would talk to you, and if you didn't have a translator around, he's talking to you like you were like, yo.
Well, you didn't know if he's mad or.
He's talking to you like you understood Turkish.
Yeah.
Wasn't he?
Yeah.
And that's why we call he only got 2 teeth in the front of his head, so we nicknamed him Tommy Two Teeth because we couldn't pronounce his name. It was nothing that's disrespectful or anything like that. I'm sure they had names for us too.
Yeah. Yeah. but you know, the camaraderie and the relationships we built while we were on the hunt, walking with these guys, talking with them, shooting guns together and everything, opened the door to the night that we really got to share with them our faith in who we are and what we believe. We basically reserved a hunting lodge, which was a restaurant,
Right.
and invited these men out to a banquet. And we just said, you know, we want you to be our guest. Come out. We're going to have a big meal, and we want to share with you about our hunting. So we showed them bear videos, and they loved the bear videos.
Oh, they did.
So that was a big part, because they have bear there too.
They did.
So with them seeing us bear hunting, that just increased our relationship. Then we had this wonderful meal, and then on top of that, we get to share the gospel with them. Brent, you get the opportunity to do what we do at our wild game banquets and
Man.
share the gospel with them.
And as soon as we get back, I'm going to jump us into a break right now, and we're going to get into that deeper because it was an incredible time. But we're talking with my buddy Sam Bennett, and we're talking about Mission Macedonia, about our, really, for lack of a better word, our cover of wolf hunters, to be able to go over there as missionaries, build relationships with the Macedonian Turkish men of the area who are very much into outdoor relations. And it's a man culture, too.
Yes, yeah.
And that's what we're talking about, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Supporting the local community. WGNW 95.7, The Choice.
95.7 The Choice would like to thank Dry Pros for their generous support. Dry Pros has 27 years of experience in the cleaning, restoration, mold remediation, and waterproofing of homes and businesses just like yours. Whether it's a routine cleaning or restoration from flood damage or mold, the team at Dry Pros has the experience to get it done right the first time. Cleaning all types of floors, windows, fine area rugs, and upholstery, they cover it all. For more information, their number is 828-277-9511. That's 828-277-9511, or visit them on the web at www.drypros.com. That's www.drypros.com.
Programming at 95.7 The Choice is made possible with the generous support of business partners like Area 22 Guitars. Area 22 Guitars is Western North Carolina's only boutique guitar shop. Whether it's an American-made all-tube hand-wired amp like Matchless, Divided by 13, Carr, or Fargen, or a U.S.-built custom luthier electric guitar brand like Anderson, PWE, Zion, Rowan, or Gatto, Area 22 Guitars specializes in the unique needs of the discerning musician. They carry a full line of boutique effect pedals like Keeley, Exotic, Rockbox, Menatone, and Wampler. And their acoustic guitars include Breedlove, Larrivee, Eastman, Bedell, and Crafter. Area 22 Guitars, not your average guitar shop. For more information, go to area22guitars.com or call them at 828-884-2222. That's 828-884-2222.
.7 The Choice would like to express our thanks to our business supporters like Ichiban School of Self-Defense. Ichiban Mixed Martial Arts provides a safe, family-oriented environment for people of all ages and skill levels to be able to train and prosper, both mentally and physically. Whether your interests are physical fitness, self-defense, competition, or just a healthy outlet for stress release, Ichiban Mixed Martial Arts will provide the tools to reach your goal. Their programs provide a well-rounded, athletic approach to martial arts in a safe, fun, family environment. For more information, go to ichibanmma.com. That's ichibanmma.com, or call them at 828-423-0662. That's 828-423-0662.
Hey, this is Brent. You're listening to the Brent Robert Outdoor Show. We're here on 95.7 The Choice, and I'm with my buddy Sam Bennett, and we're talking about our Mission Macedonia missionary outreach trip to the Macedonian Turks of the area underneath the cover of Wolf Hunters. And Sam, you had sort of painted a broad picture of our wild game banquet night that we had.
Yes. Yes, just it being that all of our hunts and the relationships that we built with these men was a segue to invite them over to a banquet that we held in their honor.
Exactly.
And not only them, but they brought other people with them.
Exactly.
They brought their mayor, they brought the president of their town, which their town, and it's a pretty big town they're in there too.
Yeah.
So, you know, they not only brought themselves, they brought some other men with them of pretty prominent men.
They did, and they dressed up.
Yeah, they did.
You know, I mean, Macedonian dress up. I mean, me, I'm dressed up in camouflage, but they, and we had a great time. We hung out, we fellowshiped, and we talked about the times that we had had. We showed, actually, we've never showed any clips from a bear video in public, so we told, and they were the first ones to really see rough cut video.
Right.
Extremely enamored about the video, weren't they?
Yes. Yeah, they I don't think they have black bear there. They have brown bear.
Right.
But these black bear that we videoed here are probably as big as their brown bear there.
You know, and when part of the video includes a 580 pounder balling up at about 30, 40 yards from you, it's a pretty good video, and they loved it.
Yeah. It was a great time. I mean, they looked at us with a whole different set of eyes after that because they knew we were real hunters. And, you know, that just, it opened opportunities to where they just welcome to hear more about us.
Yeah.
So, you know, when it become an opportunity for us to share our faith and what we believe, with them being marginal Muslims, the door was wide open.
Oh, hey, listen. That part of Europe, Eastern Europe, at least parts that we were in between Greece and Macedonia, it's not like here, or it's not like even when I've been to Central America and South America, you're talking to people sometimes that have a skewed version of the Bible. They don't have any version of the Bible.
I was amazed that a lot of those people had never heard of who Jesus Christ is.
Exactly. Considering that we were in Philippi, that was about, you know, a couple hours away, 4 or 5 hours away by vehicle, and that's where the You know, church started in Eastern Europe, you know. But Don, sort of our head honcho of this trip, the ramrod of this trip that was with us, pastor Mount Vernon Baptist Church up in Vernon, Indiana, good friend of mine. We've actually did wild game banquet for him, and or with him, and he was going to give the message. He come down with laryngitis, so he was like, and I always bring calls no matter where I go. Yeah. So I had calls with me, elk, wolf call, duck call, you know what, turkey call, predator calls, just different things like that. And so the message was the same message we give when we're doing a wild banquet here in the United States. Again, another surreal moment to think. And we had a great translator that was with us, Draghi, who is actually a pastor to the Greek Orthodox folks, a town over or two. And basically the message was, you and I, no matter where we go, we talk hunting and fishing with outdoorsmen. Yeah. And this was like being at home.
Yeah. And the basic message is wrapped around the deception that a hunter has when he calls in prey.
Exactly.
He deceives the prey into believing that he is something that he's really not.
Correct.
And when the prey commits and comes in close enough, he takes its life.
Exactly.
That's what hunting is about.
Yeah.
And that's what Satan is about. He tries to deceive us. He tries to make us think that he is something that he's really not.
Yeah.
He tries to take the place of God.
Yeah.
And when we take the bite, when we think that material things that this world offers, whether it's drugs or money or sex or whatever, when we think that provides what happiness life is here for, we fall for the hook.
Yeah.
And we get taken out by Satan.
Absolutely.
And that is the exact message that we do here, and that is the real answer is not the world, but it's what Christ offers.
Absolutely. And that he's clearly, Romans 1:20, since the beginning of time, he's clearly seen by the things he's made, so that man is without excuse. And then we talk to him about...
well, as an outdoorsman, anybody can look at the outdoors. It's very difficult to sit there in Macedonia or in the Smoky Mountains or anywhere and look at what is here. The mountains, the rivers, all the wonderful things, the beautiful creation that God has put in place. The Bible says it's impossible to look at that and say there is no God.
Exactly.
So we believe the hunter realizes there's a God better than anybody else because he spends time out there in the wild with him.
Absolutely. And then we even explained, not because I think what they're stuck in over there, and whether it's the Greek Orthodox Church or the Muslims over there, is a lot of it is religion, ritual. Yeah. Okay. And man, I hate religion. Yeah. I don't want to be seen as a religious person. I'm not. I'm a relationship person. Yeah. And in Romans 10:9 and 10, it tells us how we can have a personal relationship with the Creator of the world. So we shared that with them. They were very receptive of it. You know, there were times when we got done with the hunt the one day, when they're doing the call to prayer and the minaret, and we're sitting there saying a blessing over our food, you know, and they all stop and
yeah, they recognize it.
Absolutely.
But when the call to prayer rang out,
they ignore everything, don't they?
They didn't stop.
No.
So that just showed us what committed.
Yeah.
What their commitment was to.
Well, and no alcohol's supposed to be in that country, but every one of them's got their own homebrew still, don't they? Yeah. They call it rakia, and they were constantly offering it to us. Yeah. But anyway, you know what? And that's the religious part of it, because a religious person would come in and say, you know, you're drinking, you're doing this, you're doing that. But I'm going to tell you, Sam, we could get everybody in Macedonia to quit drinking, and it still doesn't solve their sin problem.
Yeah.
Right?
It doesn't cure the heart.
It doesn't cure the heart or the separation we have from God, that Jesus Christ broached that separation when he died on the cross for us and paid for our sin debt.
Amen.
Because it's not my righteousness, what I do right, you know, my rightness.
We're in trouble if we're looking at that.
Exactly. Oh, we are. I'm the first one to admit it.
Yeah.
You know, but it's when I stand before God and he asks why, I'm not going to say me. You know, matter of fact, I'm not even going to have to say.
Yeah.
Christ is going to say, because he placed his trust in me and I gave him my righteousness, Father.
And, we presented that message. You did a great job. We don't know. We even offered the prayer. They closed their eyes. They recognized the prayer. I don't know that anyone said anything. I don't know that there was anything committed as far as new Christians, but there were seeds planted.
Absolutely.
And, one of the things we've recognized year after year after year is that we are not responsible to grow that seed.
Yeah.
God
No.
grows the seed. We just plant it, water it, till it, whatever it takes, but He's responsible for the growth.
Thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
I tell my baseball players this every year. I am not responsible for the growth in your life in your relationship with the Lord. I'm responsible for what the Lord's called me to do as far as teaching here, okay? But I'm not, and that's the same thing when we go over there. Just responsible for sharing the message of Christ, not responsible for what Christ does in their heart.
Yeah.
Now, I'd like to be able to say that I could look and tell you what God had going on in the Macedonians' hearts, but really there were some visible things. There were some deep relationships. There's guys that want us to come back. But all I can share with you is what God was doing in my heart, as we've just shared here
Right.
tonight.
We do know the results from last year.
We do. And here's what we're going to do. I want to take a break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about that, our final segment, and it's talking about the only six Christians in Macedonia, Turkish Christians in Macedonia. And the Lord did all that. So we're going to come back. We're going to share that with you. Right now we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the Christian Turks in Macedonia. Be right back after this.
Supporting the local community. WGNW 95.7 The Choice.
95.7 The Choice would like to thank Dry Pros for their generous support. Dry Pros has 27 years of experience in the cleaning, restoration, mold remediation, and waterproofing of homes and businesses just like yours. Whether it's a routine cleaning or restoration from flood damage or mold, the team at Dry Pros has the experience to get it done right the first time. Cleaning all types of floors, windows, fine area rugs, and upholstery, they cover it all. For more information, their number is 828-277-9511. That's 828-277-9511, or visit them on the web at www.drypros.com. That's www.drypros.com.
Programming at 95.7 The Choice is made possible with the generous support of business partners like Area 22 Guitars. Area 22 Guitars is Western North Carolina's only boutique guitar shop. Whether it's an American-made all-tube hand-wired amp like Matchless, Divided by 13, Carr, or Fargen, or a U.S.-built custom luthier electric guitar brand like Anderson, PWE, Zion, Rowan, or Gatto, Area 22 Guitars specializes in the unique needs of the discerning musician. They carry a full line of boutique effect pedals like Keeley, Exotic, Rockbox, Menatone, and Wampler. And their acoustic guitars include Breedlove, Larrivee, Eastman, Bedell, and Crafter. Area 22 Guitars, not your average guitar shop. For more information, go to area22guitars.com or call them at 828-884-2222. That's 828-884-2222.
.7 The Choice would like to express our thanks to our business supporters like Ichiban School of Self-Defense. Ichiban Mixed Martial Arts provides a safe, family-oriented environment for people of all ages and skill levels to be able to train and prosper, both mentally and physically. Whether your interests are physical fitness, self-defense, competition, or just a healthy outlet for stress release, Ichiban Mixed Martial Arts will provide the tools to reach your goal. Their programs provide a well-rounded athletic approach to martial arts in a safe, fun, family environment. For more information, go to ichibanmma.com. That's ichibanmma.com, or call them at 828-423-0662. That's 828-423-0662.
Hey, we're back, and you're listening to the Brent Robert Outdoor Show. And if you'd like to listen to a rebroadcast of the show, you can go to www.957thechoice.com and follow the Ustream links to Brent Robert Outdoors. Or you can also go to facebook.com, Brent Robert Outdoors. Ton of pictures up there. I'm trying to upload some bear video, but it's not taken very well. But ton of pictures from Macedonia. Sam, when we left to go into break, we were going to come back, and we were going to talk about the Turkish Macedonian Christians.
Yes. That's Mickey and his family.
Correct.
There's 6 of them. I think they came to Christ in October
They did.
of 2012, and it was from the seeds that were planted from the 2012 trip when Don and 4 or 5 other guys went.
2. Yeah, there was 3 of them. Yeah.
Just 3 of them. Okay. It was not from our trip. It was from the previous trip. So that makes us be very excited
Yeah.
about all the seeds that we planted, and the next year to see what happens. But yeah, Mickey and his family are the first known Turkish Macedonian converts.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about the very beginning. I don't know. It's a whole new era for them there. And, Mickey is facing a lot of challenges.
Yes, he is.
That Paul faced when he went into Philippi, and all of the culture there.
Right.
They don't even know who Jesus Christ is.
Uh-huh.
And all of a sudden, he's trusted and put his faith in Jesus, and the people are saying, who is this?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Exactly.
But they see a change in his life.
His wife even said that she's getting to learn how to handle him because he used to come home. Now, nobody's told him to stop drinking, right?
Yeah.
It's to work with the power of the Holy Spirit. Nobody's told him to stop drinking, but his wife says he stopped drinking, and she's learning how to handle him all, because she knew how to handle him when he was drunk.
Yeah.
But she doesn't know how to handle him when he's sober all the time.
Yeah. Well, we had a great time with that family.
Mm-hmm.
They opened their doors to us to come in and to share Bible studies and,
Right.
and do things like that. And I thought it's very fitting that the topic that was chosen, I think, by Mr. C, and I think you led the discussion there, was on adversity.
Uh-huh.
We were thinking at that time, the adversity he must be facing because he's the only father of a Macedonian family who's a Christian now.
Right.
But we didn't know it at that time, but there's a whole different adversity that he was facing that we found out while we were there.
Yeah. You talking about the sheep?
Yes.
Yeah. In Macedonia, they don't have any fences. So they shepherd their sheep like they've done for the last several thousand years. The shepherd goes out with the sheep or the cattle each day. So it's hard to control parasite population and that sort of stuff. And we really didn't know what, but all his, or most of, a lot of, a good percentage of the lambs were stillbirthed.
Well, I think of the 3 days we were there, every single lamb that was born died
Yes.
within 10 to 15 minutes of
It did.
birth. I mean, he'd come back and he'd tell us, I've got 2 newborns up there right now, but they'll be dead in 10 minutes. And he'd go up there and they'd be dead.
Yeah.
And, they didn't know what was causing it. 2 days before we had done this Bible study, there was a veterinarian that came in and checked out the sheep and just tried to figure out what was causing it. They were thinking some kind of virus or something that was, in the mother, and while the baby was there on the mother's,
Umbilical cord.
on her blood, it had the antibodies to fight it, but once it was on its own, it died
Yeah.
quickly. So they were at a loss. They didn't know what to do.
Well, and I would imagine we didn't get to meet the vet, but it's not like a vet here.
Yeah.
A vet there is more like probably like a midwife for animals or something like that. I mean, it's...
But just to understand the magnitude of Mickey's loss, 25 sheep in 3 days he lost.
Right.
He only had a herd of 150.
Yeah.
That's 1/6
Yeah.
of his whole sheep population dead.
And his whole village is looking at this.
Where's your God?
Exactly.
Where's your God? Why are all your sheep dying? What's going on?
Exactly.
And he's really depressed about it.
Because his were the only sheep that were dying.
Yeah.
It wasn't like everybody else's sheep were
That's
dying.
right. That's right. So it was an ultimate time for God to show up in an incredible way. So, the only thing we could think is here we are talking about adversity and sharing a Bible study with him and sharing about our lives and how we've faced adverse conditions. So, the only thing and the best thing that we could do would be just to gather around his family and pray for him.
And we did that.
So we pulled the women in. The women were nowhere to be seen while we're in there talking or eating, because it's not a woman culture at all. They just served us. And we had to actually get him to go out and get his wife and 2 daughters and granddaughter and pull them into the house for the Bible study.
And the neat thing was, the only Bible in Turkish
Yeah.
in existence we brought with us when
Yeah.
we went there. Man, that was just cool. Lord,
Yeah.
man, thank you. That's how I was. I was grateful to be able to say that and how God had done that. And he and his daughter read it
Yes.
in Turkish.
And she read the scripture, we did the Bible study, and then afterwards we gathered around Mickey and his family and every one of them and prayed for them like we're commanded to do.
Uh-huh.
And I really felt like Paul encouraging the people in Philippi.
Uh-huh.
Just coming back saying, hang on, it's going to get better. But we prayed a special prayer. We said, Lord, protect his sheep.
Mm-hmm.
Show up in a way that only you can show up. And we just left it in God's hands. And we left there not knowing what was going to happen.
Right.
But last week we get word.
We got a phone call from Don.
We got a phone call from Don that since we left his house that day, not a single sheep has died.
30 had been born, and not one of them had died.
That is amazing. And, what a testimony of putting your faith in God and seeing the miraculous work there of every single sheep. Not a single one, Brent.
Yeah. I guess God can be a testimony of, I've won the Super Bowl and everything's great.
Yeah.
But typically, there's adversity in going and getting there, losses and people getting hurt.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. As we looked at Mickey and watched that whole thing, God took adversity and brought glory to himself, as the entire village all of a sudden noticed now that the Christians were there praying for. Yeah,
And guess what? Those seeds that were planted just got water on them.
yeah, they did.
And it was holy water there.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah.
anything we were doing. So, I'm excited to see what happens.
I am too, and I know we're running out of time once again. I was telling Pete earlier that an hour is almost not long enough now. I'd rather have too much to talk about than not enough time, but it's getting to that point in time we always run out, and we're there again, friends, that time of the week where we've got to say goodbye till next Tuesday. And you know what? Don't just listen to our experience that we had with Jesus Christ as we were on mission with him over to Macedonia. You too can have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. Why experience it through mine and Sam's word, right? And I don't mean you have to go on a mission. Open God's word and read it, man. And pray that his Holy Spirit would speak to you if you don't know him. And he will. He's a God that loves you and wants to have a relationship with you. This is Brent Robert on 95.7 The Choice. Enjoy God's creation. We'll talk next week. God bless.